Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about role-playing games, but specifically I want to talk about the ultimate information, the ultimate guide that you need for designing your own minds for your adventures, for your role-playing game, for your campaign, whatever it might be. And I thought what we would do is we would start out with something like, what are the resources? You really need to know what your resource is for the mind, because that's really important. So knowing what is it that they're digging up that's so important, and also something around the equipment that's used. Now I'm going to go into modern and medieval mining. We're going to talk about both of them. So I'm going to give you both of those. So if you're running a campaign or an adventure that's sort of in the past, in a medieval time, that's fine. But if you're running an adventure in a sci-fi setting or a modern setting, this should also be relatively useful to you. And that was my intention when I was designing this for today. So mining resources. Not all mine resources are actually worth a lot of money, but they are required resources. Uranium, gemstones, diamond, platinum, palladium. There's a lot of metals that are related to platinum and palladium that are also very important. Gold, silver, and it goes on. The list goes on. There's quite a few. Now there are other metals other than, say, platinum and palladium that are really important. And also we got things like copper, iron, also coal, oil, limestone's very important, chalk, dimension stone, I'm not going to explain that one, rock salt, potash, gravel, sand, and clay. These are all very important resources, and you could make a mine around any one of these. Now, what sort of mining equipment are we looking at? Well, if you start off at the very beginning, we have the pickaxe, we have hammers and chisels for cutting into the stone to actually knock everything out. We have shovels for actually loading the material we have cut from the stone or cut from the earth. Buckets for hauling stuff away. You're going to need things like helmets and leather gloves and lanterns, particularly if you're dealing with a medieval setting rather than a modern setting. Now that is the kind of equipment that you would have in a medieval setting, so that's pretty easy for you to sort of note down. But if you're dealing with a modern setting or a science fiction setting, then you're going to need something else. And the blast hole drill is a mining machine that drills holes into the earth, and then it just drills through the surface. And then they place an explosive that they will, of course, use to blast a huge chunk of earth out of the ground. You have the wheel bucket excavators. They're used for open pit mining, which is not the sort of mining you're probably going to want to use that often because it's nothing you can really explore. It's just a big hole. These mining tools, though, continuously drag and transport and load materials, ore and waste that's been excavated, and it can do about 240,000 cubic tons of minerals per day. So that's quite a lot of material that can move around. You have dozers. These are earth movers. These are machines that drag dirt from one area to another. That is the bulldozer, if you were wondering. You have your drag line excavators used in strip mining to remove the unburden. So basically you're dealing with the surface layer. Massive bucket systems attached and sort of like a large boom, and they just sort of drag along the surface of the earth to excavate it. These are one of the largest pieces of land-based mining equipment used in mining in any industry, really. It's huge. Graders are used to sort of create viable roads for mining trucks so they can transport the minerals out of the mine and keep them profitable. So you've got to move all your stuff around fairly quickly, and trucks is the best way. You have your high wall miners. These are mining machines that extract coal from exposed seams in the ground or on a rock surface. And these high wall miners, they rotate up and down along a wall, and they grind the mineral deposit out of the wall. And these mining tools are used for trench mining. Okay. Then you have your mining trucks, essential, just a large dump truck basically used for mining, and they get bigger and bigger every year. Then you have your shovels. This is a machine that has a scoop on it for digging and extracting broken rock and minerals. Then you have your wheel track scrapers, It's another sort of earth mover that operates similar to a carpenter's plane, and so it's shaving. So unlike a grader, it's a scraper, and it allows it to load and carry at the same time. So it does a few different things. You have air respirator systems for breathing clean air, so you don't wind up getting poisoned by all the gas down there. Cap lights that are attached to the top of some sort of protective headwear like a helmet. You have your detection solutions for locating miners. So that might be a tracking device of some kind. You have fall protection and an arrangement of sort of safety tools to protect miners from falling. That'll be harnesses and ropes and stuff. You have your hearing protection so that you don't wind up going deaf from all the loud noise created from the blasting and the machinery. You have your miner's pouch, which basically it's a belt that provides lumbar support, so it protects your back so you don't wind up with your back going out, and it carries a light battery pack. It has tools and a self-rescuer, something for allowing you to get out of a difficult situation. You have your protective communication, or basically your wireless two-way communication radios, and you might even have a two-way phone for emergency situations. You have your protective eyewear, basically safety glasses and goggles and stuff like that. You also have protective headwear for various sort of impact from falling debris. You have your reflective clothing so that people can see you and you don't wind up with something either hitting you or driving over the top of you. So this is obviously to ensure that people aren't part of the problem and getting in the way, and that they don't wind up getting basically injured in the process of mining. And then lastly, the self-rescuer. It's a personal emergency respiratory system or protection device against carbon monoxide and other harmful gases. And that is really the crux of all of the equipment and the types of mineral resources that you would find when it comes to mining. And I'm really hoping that this was useful to you. I'm not sure you were expecting this today, but this is what I've presented for today. And of course, there's far more to go into in terms of mining. So I want to thank my patrons who support me so I can run this program every single week. I want to thank you for watching and listening. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.